It's 10 o'clock, and this is Fox 10 Talks. We have been watching the images coming in from the Arlington National Cemetery. And as is the tradition in our country, the president there laying a wreath at the tomb of the unknown soldier. Here are some of those pictures here as he and the Vice President, J.D. Vance, arrived just across the Potomac at the Arlington National Cemetery. And this is a tradition that goes back more than 100 years in our country. So you have to go back to the earliest days in those years after World War I. And Armistice Day, of course, was set aside as the 11th day of the 11th month at the 11th hour for the signing of the treaty that ended the war to end all wars. Well, by 1921, the tomb of the unknown soldier had been dedicated, and the first president to participate in the dedication, so to lay a wreath and pay formal tribute, was Warren G. Harding on this day 104 years ago. That would have been November 11th of 1921. Now, the selection of an unknown American soldier for the tomb came as a way to eventually honor all of the unidentified dead from World War I. And so over time, as veterans observances at Arlington grew, it became a ritual in our country that, again, happens at the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month. And so we welcome you to Fox 10 Talks. I'm Ron Hoon. Syleste Rodriguez is going to be joining in the next couple of minutes. For some, it is a day off today, a holiday, and a day to remember and thank all veterans who, whether it was just in recent service or literally decades ago, have served their country by participating in the United States military and going where Uncle Sam has asked them to go. So what we have now is a chance to take you out to one of the big celebrations. It's so interesting here in the Valley because you have Mesa and you have Phoenix, and combined, they both are some of the biggest of all of the activities that people can participate in. So we're going to go out to, look at right here, Danielle Miller getting a VIP ride. What's happening, Danielle? What vehicle are you in and where are you going?
Hey guys, so we're in a golf cart. We just had a live shot for our news. We closed the show there, so we were a little far away, but now we're at the top, the front of the parade here. This is at University and Center. Everybody's really just getting set up right now. We still have another hour until the parade starts out here, but we have close to 100 entries, 2,500 people about, volunteers, people walking the parade route. Thank you so much for our ride.
Thank you.
That was a very VIP experience, as Ron said. But yeah, if you guys want to take a look down here, this is the very start of the parade route. So you can see all of the people, the floats, everybody just getting ready for the big day out here. So we have pretty much every branch of military out here. We had a lot of auxiliaries with some of the American Legion posts here locally. I've seen the Gilbert Fire Department, Gilbert Police Department. So a lot going on out here, a lot of companies, businesses. And Ron, you know, we were talking about the Grand Marshal. He is 101 years old. He was over here at Station 9, and I peeked through as we were driving by, and I unfortunately didn't see anybody. So I don't know if the Grand Marshal's here. He's the VIP of this place, so maybe he's going to come in at the last second and hop on his float here. But look, we have KNIX, our partners here. Hey, guys. Brooke, Tim, maybe they were going to be out here. You never know. We have really cool cars, like this Chevy truck you're seeing right here.
Danielle, I think people don't, if they haven't been out to the parade, don't understand. It's a big size parade. I mean, if you were to walk to the very end of all the entries, you'd probably be walking for the next 10 or 15 minutes.
Yes, and the parade route itself is about a mile long, and it takes about 2 hours to get through the entire parade. So it just goes to show you just how many people and how many entries there are. Take a look at these cuties. Hey, guys. We've got some cute cheerleaders out here. So this is number 9 right here, Ron. This is going to be the Grand Marshal's car.
Yeah,
so
okay.
I don't see anybody here right now, unfortunately.
Can you hold on it for just a minute? Because I know we're still an hour away, Danielle, from the parade starting. And he's 101. But we are talking about if, like, you have time off today and you want to bring the kids to an event they'll always remember. He is a veteran who was there at Iwo Jima. You know, we are down to just a very few World War II veterans. And the fact that he was there, his name is Bob Brutinel, and he is the Grand Marshal this year. Just the fact that he's going to be riding in that Jeep, and you can literally see a true, well, there's so many heroes to be saluting, but boy, there's a man with a story to tell, and it'll be great to have him in the parade and all the love he's going to receive from folks along the sidelines.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And what a cool Jeep ride of the parade. You guys can see over here a beautiful Jeep. But, yeah, there's pretty much everything that people can see out here. We have the traditional floats. We have those really cool classic cars. I just saw down here a classic fire truck, which is really cool. Gilbert Police had an old-school police cruiser as well. So there is just so much fun things to see out here. And obviously the main purpose of all of this is honoring our veterans. So many veterans out here today in the crowd. Just an awesome day, and we were talking to the Mesa Parade Authority, the East Valley Parade, and they were saying that every year it just gets bigger and bigger, more entries, more people, and it just goes to show you that so many people want to honor our veterans out here. So such a fantastic day. 11 o'clock, that's when it starts. It's going to last for about 2 hours or so, so still plenty of time to get out here for our viewers.
Danielle, as we wrap up, where would you recommend, oh, look at this. What school are they from, by the way? Where are they from?
It says, I don't know. What school are you guys with?
Peace.
Ooh, okay. And then what grades are you guys in?
6th grade.
6th grade, okay.
Nice.
Middle school? Oh, 5th grade, okay.
Good grade.
You guys look awesome.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So,
handsome.
Danielle,
Yeah, you get
as we wrap it up, where would you recommend people head to if they want a good viewing spot for the Mesa Parade?
Yeah, so right behind us here, the very start of the parade, that's University and Center. So that's kind of the main spot. There is a couple lots out here where people can park their vehicle and come around the parade route. The parade route is about a mile long, and there is still plenty of room. You can see a couple of people already lined up, but anywhere near the downtown Mesa area is a good spot to kind of park. And, you know, there's gas stations and businesses, so lots of places to go.
Love it.
And park. Yeah, bring your chairs, bring some water.
Yep.
Come enjoy.
I mean, we got a big parade in Phoenix, but if you're in the East Valley, you'll love what they do out there in Mesa. Danielle, great report, and thank you.
Thank you. You bet.
Okay, so we have Syleste and Irene joining now. Let me get all your microphones open. We asked Irene to pop in, Syleste, just so she could talk a little bit about what she saw in all of her live reporting today. It was great.
It was wonderful. I was pretty much on the veteran beat this morning. I went from the parade, or at least the preview of the parade out in Phoenix, and then went from there to the original breakfast house where, of course, there were so many veterans that were getting some free meals this morning. So they were enjoying that. It was wonderful.
Yeah, there was one gentleman you spoke with at the breakfast place, and I thought, what a remarkable interview you had with him. He was a Vietnam vet, right?
Mario, I think his name was. Yes.
Yeah. What did he have to share?
He was talking a lot about coming back from the Vietnam War, and actually the owner of the original breakfast house also served in the Vietnam War. He was sharing a similar story with me. You know, when they came back at the time, there were so many protests over the war. They came back and they said they had to change clothes before leaving the airport, or else people would be kind of after them. People didn't respect them for serving because so many people were against the war at the time.
And think about how much that has changed from then till now.
I know. He said, well, now that's why Veterans Day means so much, of course, to all veterans, but he was saying especially to Vietnam War veterans, because when they came back, they were not respected. If anything, it was the complete opposite.
He said he'd get a hat now. He said,
now I need one.
Now I need a hat that says Vietnam veteran, when before, unfortunately, that was really tough. I just thought that interview, Irene, that you had with him, him. It just I think it was so moving. So great job.
He was very nice. And I also
Yeah.
spoke to a little boy who told me he grew up with his dad in the Navy. So, he was saying how hard it was having him away, but now his dad's retired and he's back home with him. So he's all happy and he has a dad that served. He's very proud of him.
You had the twirlers out
That was
there
at the parade in
early
Phoenix.
this
They were
morning.
fantastic.
Talk for about a minute that we have left or so here. Talk a little bit about the people that you met that were so excited to just be able to be part of the parade because it starts in less than an hour.
It starts at 11 o'clock.
At 11
Yeah.
a.m.
So the people at the Phoenix parade, I talked to, first of all, Paula. She was a veteran herself. She's been running that thing for 29
Paula
years. Since
Padine.
1996. She was fantastic. And then the twirlers, there are 33 of them that are going to be there. We talked to 3 of them this morning. They were the high schoolers. They were kind of like the higher tier. But man, they were twirling the batons
So
with
awesome.
fire. I didn't
With
see one of them
fire?
drop it once.
Yeah.
And she was saying these kids start when they're 6 years old.
Wow.
And then we also the color guard out there.
Yeah.
They were very solemn on camera, but as soon as the camera was off, I was chatting with them a little bit. They
Sure.
could break a smile, but they were
Yes.
very nice and somber, like they had to be for the camera. And they're going to be going into the military too, is what their plan is. So the man who kind of was overseeing them was telling me, Warrant, he said, hey, we want to prepare them, and we figured bringing them out to the parade is a great way to do that. See the way veterans are respected. They can respect their veterans, and because they're going to be paying their service
That's awesome.
too. So
Isn't that great?
We'll close by me asking you the same question we just asked Danielle. Where would you recommend people go to actually watch the parade?
Well, I will tell you, first of all, when we were there was nobody lined up at that
Right.
point.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's at Montebello Road and Central Avenue, section 23 and 18 is kind of the general parking area. But
Okay.
I wasn't there when the whole parade was open, so we'll
Right,
see. I haven't
right,
been there
right.
during the stretch of the parade yet. I'm not sure exactly how busy it's going to be.
Anywhere
but
along the parade
Yeah.
route's
right
gonna
along
probably
Montebello
be
Road and
fine.
Central Avenue is the area
I think
this
it's
morning.
the parking lot of the North Baptist Church.
Yes,
North
correct.
Phoenix Baptist
Is
Church
the setup area.
is the setup area.
Yes,
and
right.
then you head south right on
That's
Central
where we were this morning.
to
yeah.
Camelback or Indian School, one of those, and then it turns on 7th Street. So it's going to be great.
Celeste, Danielle just told us this is for the Mesa Parade.
Yes.
She said it stretches almost a mile long.
Wow.
That's how big that parade is. And Phoenix, of course, does an amazing job with theirs.
They do fantastic. So it was wonderful to see them all setting up this morning.
Yeah.
But it's going to be such a big parade. Everyone who was there, we were there last at 7:15. So they
Okay.
had quite a bit of setup to go.
Excellent
All right.
report.
Yeah, Irene, thank you.
Thank you guys so much.
Great stuff. Thank you.
And to all of our veterans who have served in the United States military, we thank you for your service as well.
Yes, we do. All right. Do we want to go to Mystery Camera, Ron?
Let's do it. It's just about time for that first break. And look at this lonely little outpost here.
Oh, my
Where is that?
goodness.
Did they just get themselves a Holiday Inn Express or what's going on there, Celeste? Okay, give us your guesses. We'll be right back with more on Veterans Day of Fox 10 Talks. Well, we welcome you back now to more of Fox 10 Talks, and this is one of the loneliest looking towns, Syleste, that we have ever had on the Mystery Camp.
I think they need like a friendly little hello. You know
Do
what I
they?
mean? Yeah,
Yeah.
they need like, I don't know.
They need, let's see, let's just think of some of the things they need. They need
Gas station?
maybe a couple of data centers.
Oh, potentially.
Right.
Maybe they need a couple of housing developments.
There you go. Not that anybody wants to fly right now, but maybe they could use an airport.
Well, the good news is they don't have any traffic on the roadways here in the city. Okay, what are you going to go with, Ron? It looks like we do have. So Darren Lloyd says it's too flat for Utah.
Right.
DeYoung says Oklahoma. Jens Wall says Utah. B. Miguel says Texas. We've got a New Mexico from Little Philosophy.
I think those last two guesses is so dry.
Yeah.
I'm thinking it's either Texas or New Mexico. I guess I'm going to go Texas.
Okay, you're going to go Texas.
How about you?
I'll go Utah with maybe Jens Wall.
Okay,
so
ready.
here
Here comes
is
Syleste. Hold on, I got to figure out. There
the
she is.
mystery camera.
Okay,
Right
yes.
there.
Yeah.
Pecos, Texas.
It is Texas.
Yeah, the
Okay.
Lone Star State.
Nice. Hello, Pecos. Now, look, we know you have more to your town than just this one motel.
Yes.
It's just that the cameras, we have no control over them, so we just pop them up, and that's just the way it goes.
Yeah, even Professor Kleinman's Glendale Community College channel says they thought it was Indiana.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, it looks
Professor Kleinman's joining us today?
Yeah, that's
Where?
so amazing.
Where's
You see him right here popping up.
Oh, that's great. Now,
Ron.
I want to take classes with him.
Even the professors are joining us here.
I love it.
Love it. Thank you,
That's
friend.
because we have smart talk. Not only are we the friendliest talk online, we're the smartest, if you don't mind me
Okay,
saying
I'll hop
so.
on that train.
Okay, let's go to. We are welcoming you back. We're going to switch our cameras now to. I went over with Melanie, our executive producer, all the various airport cams, and I said, let's find a really good shot that we haven't shown before of what's going on in these various airports. So let's see here. I think, yeah, there we go. Do you want to guess where that airport is, Syleste? Look, they fly a lot of Southwest flights.
Let's see. Southwest flights.
Oh, there's a truck backing up right there, bringing the food to the people who are getting ready.
Maybe is it like a Nevada?
It's not bad. It's St. Louis.
Oh, St. Louis.
Yeah. I have not been to that airport in a really long time. And if I remember, it was a big hub for TWA. Remember that airline?
Oh,
That tells you how long ago it was. But boy, Syleste, some of the stats in terms of what we are seeing. So let's see. As of 8 o'clock this morning, the worst cancellations were in Chicago at O'Hare with 121, Atlanta with 117.
Okay.
More than 80 flights delayed at both JFK and O'Hare.
Wow.
Yeah. Isn't it interesting how New York has three kind of equal airports with JFK, LaGuardia, and Newark? And Chicago really only has the one big one, and then they have one little airport that
O'Hare.
O'Hare,
is
and
the big
then
one.
Midway.
In Midway.
Kind of interesting. And then Atlanta, there's some talk about, does Atlanta need, the current airport is so humongous.
Yeah.
But the guy that runs Delta Airlines, and that's their big hub, he says, nah, we like it here. Let's just keep growing the Atlanta airport.
Yeah.
But to me, it's already way too overcrowded.
Well, I think it's important to note that the JFK is such a nightmare most days to get it out. You're like 10 miles from Manhattan. It takes you 2 hours to get to the airport.
Yeah.
So then you have the other one. What's the other one there in New York besides?
Oh, well, you have LaGuardia.
LaGuardia is the one that Southwest flies into.
And then you have Newark over in New Jersey.
And LaGuardia is actually closer to Manhattan. I've never flown in and out, but it's fairly new, and they have a newer terminal. And then you have Newark, which, of course, you can hop on the train and take into the city, which is actually usually run a lot cheaper.
Oh. Okay.
Because you're in Jersey. I don't know. People thinking New Jersey's cheaper. I don't know why.
Well, so on Monday, we had 9,300 flight delays. And I hate to even bring this up, Syleste, but one of the stories I heard this morning is, so you're sitting at your airport, the flight's delayed.
Yeah.
Eventually you get on the plane, and then it takes longer than usual to just get a spot on the tarmac and be able to take off. So you're already way behind schedule. And then you land at whatever airport, and they don't have a gate ready for you.
Yeah.
That there could be delays once you arrive just to get a gate for an hour or more.
That is crazy.
Oh, boy. I don't know why anybody would fly around. I get Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
But right now, it's bad.
I just think if, it's they got to get something figured out. They're going to hammer something out, right?
Yeah.
There's a new idea passed by the Senate, right? A new plan.
Okay.
Passed by the Senate.
Oh, to reopen the government.
To reopen the government.
Yeah, I like it. I like how you put it as there's a new idea.
There's a new idea.
Maybe. How about just work together?
Well, here's the thing: is that it's only an idea until until it becomes an actual something everybody signs off on.
Yes, exactly. And they're only going to fund it through January 30th. Are you kidding me? It's ridiculous. I mean, I think people are so fed up with how things work, how broken Washington is.
Yeah.
At least fund it for 6 months.
Well, I think
don't put us through this in 2 more months.
They're hoping, I think, what they want is to get us through the holidays.
Yeah.
They're like, let's just get these, American families need to eat. Then we need to get through the holidays.
Right.
People need to travel.
Right.
And so I think maybe that's what they're hoping, but it's still kind of crazy.
Well, if you wrap it up on January 30th, then you're not going to really be making much of a plan for the next holiday, which is Groundhog's Day.
That is something that is almost bigger than Christmas, Ron.
and then you got St. Patrick's Day.
And
Valentine's Day.
Oh my God,
Come
don't
on.
skip that, Ron.
No, I know, Celeste. All right. Anyway, let's talk just a little bit about what's been going on out there at Sky Harbor Airport. Folks are frustrated.
I got to roll with these punches because our flights got delayed and there's nothing really I can do about it. So just roll with it, that's it.
My flight was supposed to leave at around 2 p.m. today, and they rebooked me to fly out later tonight, and it's still looking like it's going to be an hour delayed, so I'm spending 7 hours in the airport.
We came from New York, and we were there stuck for, it was 6-7 hours, the La Guardia, and then we had to flew to Dallas, and in Dallas we were stuck for 15-18 hours kind of, and we want to get home to Yuma.
Oh my gosh, stuck in Dallas for 18 hours.
Planes, trains, and automobiles.
Oh, great movie, but a bad situation.
Yeah, it really
so
is.
So listen from The Aviator, what he shared in the chat. He says, enjoy the delays. I keep saying it, once the late boomers and early Gen X retire for good, this is what aviation will look like worldwide, because we're not bringing in the workforce that is needed. And I thought, wow, it's interesting.
Yeah, the Aviator, he could give us some pretty good commentary on this whole situation. 15 to 20 per day are now retiring. These are the guys with the most experience, men and women with the most experience, and they're gone. And so it's such a good point. Where will we be, a year from now?
We should try to get on. We have a couple of different United Flight School. I think it's in Goodyear.
Right.
We have an American one out at, I think, Falcon Field in Mesa.
Okay.
We should try to get them in to see what are their thoughts, or how are they trying to recruit new pilots.
Yeah, that's a good
to
point.
keep us in the air.
Well, you just mentioned we do have a deal, but you know what? There's still a lot of anger up on Capitol Hill here. By the way, the president did say he's on board. John Thune actually thanked, I think, Republicans and Democrats for working together, but there are others in the Democratic Party not happy.
I know that the strain of these weeks has been immense. You all have families, rent to meet, bills to pay, car and mortgage payments. And I'm grateful for all you have done to keep the Senate running. And for all that you do every day, shutdown or no shutdown, to serve the Senate and to serve our country. And with that, after 6 excruciating weeks, I will stop talking and let all of you get some rest.
And so as House Democrats, we know we're on the right side of this fight, the right side of the American people. And we're not going to support a partisan Republican spending bill that continues to gut the health care of the American people. And we're going to continue the fight to extend the Affordable Care Act tax credits. And if it doesn't happen this week, next week, this month, next month, then it's the fault of Donald Trump, House and Senate Republicans, who continue to make life more expensive for the American people.
You know, that's interesting because part of, as we were talking about it, Syleste, I was thinking, okay, so that's the argument. To wedge the argument inside a shutdown obviously created a lot of pain and a lot of uncertainty for most of the country. But now we're to the point where you can make that argument and fully do it between Republicans and Democrats up on Capitol Hill. Affordable health care, yes or no? By the way, those are the Democrats and one independent who did vote to reopen the government. So the government's going to reopen. Now it's a situation where let's find out whether or not you can win that actual argument with the American people in the next few months, because they're actually going to have this vote in Washington, I think almost exactly 1 month from today.
Yeah, they are. I think it's interesting too. Now, finally, Adelita Grijalva is going to be sworn in as well.
Yes.
And it makes you think, she said, and according to some of the reports that we've heard, it was before the final vote will take place, right? Mike Johnson said that. So it makes you think if that was part of the deal.
Yeah.
Behind closed doors, you know deals are being made. Hey, if you vote this direction, I'll help you with this funding here or this effort. And okay, well, let's get the Dems all back. Let's get the House back. Let's vote on this thing, and we'll go ahead and finish this thing with Grijalva. And so there's so much, I think, backdoor deals being done right now, or the attempt.
Yeah.
But finally, that's happening too for a lot of folks in Southern Arizona. That's been very important.
And so here's our poll question. We're going to do this as we go to break, and then we will be checking in with Dave on the Dave Cam. We also have a poll Q re-Q, Syleste.
Ooh.
We never got really the final numbers from yesterday, but we got thousands and thousands of votes on whether you're happy or not that the government's reopening without that deal. But anyway, right now you can grab the QR code. More people now in the Democratic Party calling for Chuck Schumer to resign, should he. 85% are saying, yeah, he's actually one of the biggest problems the Democrats have. 0% are saying, yeah, he needs to. It's time for new leadership in the party. Maybe AOC runs against him. Your other option, no, he's doing the best he can in a very partisan time. Grab that QR code. After the break, we'll see how much those numbers have changed, and we'll check in with the man himself.
Big dude. Oh, that's Montana.
really like the looks of Wyoming today with a little bit of, I don't know, maybe just
That's gorgeous.
a little bit of snow up on the mountains up above there.
That is so pretty.
Isn't it? Yeah.
If you missed us at the top of the hour, we had Irene and
Yes.
Danielle both on talking about Veterans Day.
It was so great.
Wasn't it wonderful? And I just wanted to say, Irene, her voice is so beautiful.
Doesn't she have a great voice?
There's something about like a soft voice, Ron.
I know
Yours
it.
is strong.
Oh, thank you, Celeste. All right. Well, there we go. Can you hear me okay?
I cannot hear you very well, but let us know in the chat. Can you guys hear Ron okay?
I can't hear myself.
I can't hear you either.
Everything was normal, and then we went to Wyoming, and now
then-
this.
I know.
All right.
Maybe you were out fly fishing on this river. I don't know.
Okay.
Let's say I had a question. Darren Lloyd says that he went to the Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University. We were just talking about pilots and flying around the country.
Oh, yeah.
And I said, were you a pilot there? He says, when I was there, mostly USA students, now 90% foreign. And so he didn't really answer the question, but question for you, buddy. Let us know. Oh, he said, yes, I'm a pilot. He just came in this comment. An aircraft dispatcher as well. That's awesome. Thank you. Thank you for your service. The aviator also, as you know from the name, that his handle, he is also a pilot based in Germany.
Oh,
and
yeah,
we're
that's
glad
right.
that he's with us. And I know he comes back to Phoenix every once in a while. And thank you all for sharing your thoughts in the chat. We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so let's go back to our poll question. Let's see if those numbers moved around. Not much. Now up to 86% saying, yeah, he probably needs to step aside. He's one of the biggest problems the Democrats have. Nobody yet saying time for new leaders in the party. Maybe, hopefully, AOC runs against him. That will be one of the most epic races on the primary system that we've ever seen.
Absolutely. Let's take a look at the YouTube poll on this one. More calls for Chuck Schumer to resign as Senate Majority Leader. Should he? We've got about 800 votes or so. I just refreshed, so the numbers are continuing to rise.
Okay.
Yes, he's one of the biggest problems the Dems have. 67% say that one. Yes, a time for new leaders in the party. I hope AOC runs against him. 19%. And no, he's doing the best he can in a very partisan time. 14% voting there.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because from a purely political reporting standpoint and not really caring who would win that, to have that be a showdown between the old guard of the party and the new faces in the party and the future of the party, I would be so fascinated to cover that race.
Wow.
AOC and Chuck Schumer. I know you would be too. Okay, so we have all that happening. And we also have, if you can believe it, Celeste, a poll Q re-Q.
Okay, let's get to it.
Yeah, here we go. Okay, so this is yesterday's poll Q re-Q, and there's our graphic that we worked a very long time on. Lily put that together for us.
Lily.
Got to give a shout out to Lily. And so here's what it ended up looking like yesterday. Now, I need to double check with Dave if he's got comments from yesterday or today, whichever. Okay. Oh, he's got both.
He
Great.
is on it.
Okay. 64% are saying glad it all happened the way it did. But the shutdown should have never happened. Glad it's over. 20% say it's bad. Democrats should have kept it going until they got an ACA deal. And let me just look. I think we might have the final results of the YouTube poll as well.
Oh, wow. Look at those big numbers. 5.7 thousand votes. That's incredible.
Isn't that something? Yeah. Okay. And 49% say it never should have happened, but 36%, a little bigger number here, saying it's bad. The Democrats should have kept it shut down until they got an ACA deal. So now it's a chance to go to Big D. You want to start with yesterday's results since we're doing the poll Q re-Q? What do you see?
You got it. So Mark C. in Scottsdale says, looking forward to Hakeem Jeffries becoming the new Speaker of the House a year from now at the November 2026 midterms, as the Democrats will most likely take back the House. However, expect more gridlock in Congress after that happens then. Lovely. Darla Nicole in Golden Valley says, well, the government never should have been shut down to begin with. I am happy to see that they actually agree that this needs to end. Republicans own the House. If there was no filibuster, this would never have happened to begin with. Oh well, they just need to open up, then fix the problems the way it should be. America itself is suffering because the American people are, period. Then on YouTube, BD3391 says, if Republicans were actually interested in democracy and working for the majority of Americans instead of only working for the top 1%, the shutdown wouldn't have happened. And then finally, Oxford 17 says, what I do know is that when people lose their ACA subsidies, more MAGA will see exactly who their glorious leader truly is. That is a good thing. So really interesting comments on both sides for that one.
All right. Now, do you want to give us any from today?
Sure.
Okay.
Christine Green, B9T, says Schumer is in a tough situation. We don't need someone worse than Schumer is. And Barry and Heber says whoever is in that position will still push the same, if not worse, agenda. So we love hearing from you guys. Keep them up. We love it.
Okay. Thank you, Big D. Now, we have a story that I think is going to just attract more and more attention until the case is solved. And Celeste, this has to do with, it's coming out of the White Mountain area from up around White River. And it is, originally was the case of a missing teenager. But then what happened was, it suddenly, or the body was found. This is up in White River, which is such a beautiful, beautiful part of our state.
Yeah.
And is where the crime occurred. Her name is Syleste Rodriguez. She was just 16 years old. Yeah. Police, and since it was on tribal land, federal agents as well were involved in this case. They spent the weekend searching the area, and that's when they found her body. Unbelievable. So sad in such a beautiful small town setting in truly one of the most picturesque parts of our state.
Well, I think one of the things that are kind of that's now coming out with this investigation is she had some of the family friends believe she may have been coined as or labeled as a runaway. A year ago, she left home twice in October. And so a lot of times, you know, when that happens, they may not send the alert out that she's missing once again as quickly as they should. And so one of the family friends and the family advocate said they believe, I wonder if because that happened last year in October of 2024, this time around, they didn't label it as kind of like a missing person or potential crime had occurred. They think maybe she was just running away again. Yeah. And what the family advocate said was a lot of times children run away, and that's their cry for help. They don't have the means or the coping mechanisms to communicate exactly what's happening.
And I think about, you know, I grew up in a pretty small town up in eastern Washington. And there were maybe like 5,000 people in our community. I was actually born in a town called Omak, and then we moved to a bigger city of about 50,000, Wenatchee. But so I'm just comparing small communities. You know, I was a kid, but I don't ever, in a little town like that, I don't ever even remember a single murder case. Yeah. When the population is that small, you can imagine the heartache and the fear that people are probably experiencing in White River today.
Well, and the communities, they all know one another. The families know each other. And so when things like that happen in small communities, it is devastating.
So here is Nicole Crassine's report.
Syleste was an amazing young girl with a whole life ahead of her. This is something no family should ever experience. The level of grief that they're experiencing and shock is real, you know, and they have lots of questions. Like, this was their baby girl. She did go to a friend's house and they, you know, had contact with her, and then that contact was gone. I think that there's a lot of communities that aren't reporting their people missing, and that's the first step, is to make sure that everybody is being reported in the same way.
Okay, so there is the map itself. You can see the body was found just north of White River, just on the edge of the little community of Knott's Landing. And there she is. What a beautiful young lady with her entire life ahead of her. And now it's become a very high-profile murder case.
Yeah, so young, Ron.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Yeah. Hey, okay, so we are going to stay on top of that one. There is another story, though, that I think also is very interesting, and it has to do with the heart attack risk. This is fascinating to me, Celeste. They have discovered that in one part of the country, the heart attack risk for women is rising much faster than in other parts of the country.
Oh.
And we're talking about the Deep South. So the highest heart disease death rates, Daily Mail reporting,
Yes.
include Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana, Arkansas, Tennessee, and Oklahoma.
Wow.
Also, the higher burden of cardiovascular disease factors like diabetes, hypertension, and obesity. And the southern and Midwestern regions generally, for whatever reason, seem to have more sedentary lifestyles, a larger body mass index, and more smoking in some of those areas. And they're just raising the alarm right now because it's happening so fast in those particular states that the numbers they think are actually going to catch up with the men who traditionally have a much greater heart attack risk.
Wow. You know what I have to say to that, Ron?
What's that, Celeste?
Eat my grits, Ron.
Oh, okay, good, Celeste. Sounds like you've just been to the South a little bit. I tried grits once, and
I
I'm
love
like,
grits.
no,
I
it's
like
not
grits.
for me.
Yeah.
I mean, why not just have oatmeal? I don't know. For everybody watching from the South right now, sorry, maybe you can convince us why grits are as good as some people think.
Yeah, if you're in the South right now, just tell Ron, eat my grits, Ron.
Eat my grits.
I used to love that show. We actually have a Mel's Diner in Phoenix.
Yeah, we do.
The sign to Mel's Diner is actually on Grand Avenue in Phoenix.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
well, I will say, all the time I've spent in Alabama, which is where my wife Renee grew up, and my beloved Aunt Nancy, who lived for many years in Southern Virginia, almost all the way down into Tennessee. Southern hospitality is a real thing.
it is a real thing. And like your wife, Renee, has the most beautiful skin.
Oh, well, thank you, Celeste.
And we've had this conversation.
Pass that along.
She's probably watching right now. Renee, I love you. But there's the humidity. There's something to it, I think, maybe that kind of softens the skin and keeps it nice and moist.
Yeah.
But people in the chat, they're saying, hey, they kind of like them sweet. Jenswell says she likes grits. She likes them sweet, Ron.
Okay. Maybe that's what I needed to do was to sweeten it up a little bit. Hey, take a look right here. Oh, that's from Eugene.
That's really beautiful.
Kind of a misty day. We'll be right back with more. All right, everybody. It is kind of a foggy, misty day. When the weather clears in Eugene, it is truly one of the most beautiful cities in the West. And you've got mountains all around. I remember, Celeste, right after I graduated from college, from the UW.
Yeah, just like 5 years ago.
Only.
Yes. And I drove down to Eugene. I always liked that town. And I drove, one of the TV stations is way up in the mountains.
Ooh,
you know, because you're used to, like, here we are, we're in the heart of the downtown.
Do you have to hike up? If you work there, it's like hiking boots.
No, I believe you're allowed to drive. But I mean, I'm like, this is such a beautiful area. They never did offer me a job, though. So.
Oh, you know what? They're lost, Ron.
Thank you, Celeste.
They're lost, our game.
I'm like, if you don't hire me 40 years from now when the world goes to streaming, it's going to be your mistake. You like that, Dave?
I love it.
All right, so we're so jazzed that Bella can join us now.
Hey,
hello, Isabella.
Good to see you.
Good to see you both.
Hey, do you guys very often go for smoothies?
All the time.
Like almost
yeah.
every day or once or twice a week or what, Bella?
Like every other day.
Yeah.
I love a
Really?
smoothie.
Good for you. Okay, every other day.
Yeah.
That seems like that would be a pretty big hit to the pocketbook.
Well, I like to make them at home.
Oh, good move.
Yes, so I get a lot of the frozen fruits,
Yeah.
Costco size, and
Okay.
I just make it myself.
Well, there's one thing you need to not put in them anymore.
What's that?
Ready? Here we go. I believe we have
What
the
are we talking
video
about?
here. Stand by, everybody. You're not supposed to put bananas in them anymore.
No
Do you
way.
go with bananas?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well, researchers at the University of California, Davis, not Berkeley, but Davis, have come up with some research. They say putting the banana in there interferes, they discovered, with the body's absorption of flavonols, and that, of course, plays a role in your heart health and your brain health. They said there's an enzyme in bananas that can break down the flavonols when they're blended in with the drink. So if you drink a smoothie made of bananas, you're going to get fewer flavonols than if you ate the ingredients separately. So have your banana beforehand.
Okay.
Or put it in like a banana bread or something
But
like that.
but it adds sweetness. It's like a natural. That's the idea
I
with
know.
it's a natural sugar.
And it makes things more creamy,
It
like
does.
a smoothie.
True. But, I mean, if you go with like blueberries and strawberry, you're still going to get some sweetness.
Yeah, but it's different. I'd say those are almost more tart. The
Thank
banana
you.
sweetens
Okay.
it, especially if it's more ripe, and
Yeah.
it just goes from like a juice to a smoothie. I like how it makes it creamy.
it's more creamy.
Okay.
Well,
All right, Bella.
geez, I'm gonna have to find a new recipe. Thanks, Ron.
Okay. Celeste, you're off the hook on that one, but you probably get smoothies twice a day.
No, not entirely.
No?
But I do love a good smoothie.
Yeah.
There's a couple places that have a cold brew smoothie.
Okay.
And like in the afternoon when I'm running the kids around,
up.
a little
It's got
pick me up.
caffeine in it?
Yeah, because
At
cold
4 in
brew.
the afternoon?
Yeah.
Oh, Celeste, good luck getting
But it
to
has
sleep.
protein, Ron.
I'm worried about you. Okay, so you guys, let's talk tech neck. This was Celeste's story of the day, which you do such a great job with those. I love the idea of getting a chance to go a little bit more in depth. But they say it's all because we're all leaning forward. We have a whole generation that is starting to do this with their neck.
Yes.
You see, this is sort of an unofficial recreation right here of what's happening to our necks.
So here's the thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to admit it, but we all have these, like, maybe a teensy little wrinkle in the neck.
Okay.
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 Oh, yeah.
So,
Right.
so the reason they're saying they're calling it tech neck, and the idea is because we're looking down at our phones constantly, or at the computers,
Okay.
and you can develop those lines more often because you're constantly. It's like your neck is prolonged looking down, like for a longer amount of time. You're looking down at the device or your phone or smartphone, tablet, computer, and so it's causing these wrinkles to happen
You
in
have
your
no
neck.
wrinkles.
Thank you, Ron.
And I see you on your phone all the darn time. You have no wrinkles. You're doing great.
I'm emailing teachers. I'm texting cool houses. I'm talking about the balance hack. I'm talking to Bella and you and
Yes,
Dave
true.
and whoever. Because it's how we work now.
Yeah.
You know, we don't talk like this usually. We talk like this.
Oh, yeah.
And so they're
have
calling
you
it
ever
tech neck.
texted Gary when you're in the house and he's in the house? Have you ever done that?
Yes.
Yes.
And you know what he says to me? What are you doing? He's like, come see me.
So if you had to choose one app or whatever that you're on the most, would it be Instagram? Bella and I were talking about this. Bella, what would you say you're on the most? Maybe what's numbers 1, 2, and 3 for you?
Instagram
Is number 1?
Yes.
Okay.
Facebook is number 2, but I
Okay.
consume news on Facebook.
Oh.
So Instagram, Facebook, and probably just the texting.
Yeah,
texting.
I was just going to say.
Texting my family. I text my family all throughout the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think.
What's yours, Ron?
Probably also Instagram. I spend a lot of time on X, believe it or not, because I have separate lists. Like I have one just for sports.
Oh,
I have one
nice.
just for the Huskies.
Oh,
I
yes.
have one for national news people that I trust, that I follow.
Ooh, who are those people?
Let's see, John Hook.
Yeah, he's a national news person.
Yeah, he is. Justin Lum.
Yes.
Also national
sure.
news
Actually, I'm trying to
person.
think who are some of the national people.
What about
Chad Pergram, Capitol Hill? You want to learn ahead of time what's going to be in the news like 2 hours later?
Oh.
Go to Chad Pergram, Capitol Hill.
What
He's
about
amazing.
Brett Baer?
Oh, I love Brett.
Yeah, he's
That's
good.
for sure.
What about Shannon Bream?
Oh, I bet she is on that list.
Yeah.
You know, when she was here for the Super Bowl,
Yeah.
this is a few years ago when it was here, Ron, right?
Yep.
In Glendale. She was here and I got to meet her and they had like a big Fox like trailer where they had lots of snacks and coffee and they're like, come on in, come with us. And so went in there and talked to her and her producers. The nicest people.
Oh, how sweet.
I don't know if it's because the sugar, the snacks, or what it was, but it was like a great time.
I don't think Shannon can fake it. I think what you
That's
get with her is the real
She
deal.
was so sweet and just as beautiful in person.
Sure.
Yeah, so great and so smart. Yeah.
You know, the other one that I spend a lot of time on is the grocery apps. I've kind of gotten the habit, whether it's Fry's or Safeway or Bash's.
Walmart? Are you on Walmart?
I definitely do Walmart. I love putting those orders in. I just have to make sure it hits $35. That's why you always hold back on paper towels and toilet paper, because you can always add those to an order, right?
Now I know where to go if I ever need some TP.
There you go. Yeah, forever in the next pandemic. You guys, this story, I love this story. The Wicked Witch of the West. Her hat is about to go up for auction. Now, Bella, were you familiar with this story?
No.
Good, because I want to ask you to guess the price of what the starting bid is going to be. Celeste, do you know the answer
I
to
do
that?
know the answer to this.
Oh.
So Celeste cannot play.
Okay.
Bella,
But I can give you hand signals and I will
Give me fingers, like
Yeah.
the number.
Yeah, Celeste will be like, what do you think? What will the opening bid, Bella, be for the Wicked Witch's hat, which I just love the fact that it's actually going to go up for auction in a couple more weeks.
$10,000.
That's a pretty good guess. Now, let's see whether or not Celeste has any clues
I've
for
got
you.
2 thumbs.
Okay. What do you know? What do you say?
15.
What do you say?
20.
Come on, Celeste, get those thumbs up.
45?
Way up.
Let me get my feet.
Oh my goodness.
Thumbs and toes. $100,000.
No way.
Are you kidding me?
It's really expensive
But
wool.
it is so iconic. Think about it in these terms, you guys. A couple of months ago, I was driving across the state of Minnesota. I went to the Judy Garland Museum in Grand Rapids, Minnesota, not Grand Rapids, Michigan. And they have the display case where somebody stole the red ruby slippers. Well, eventually they were found through great police work. But guess how much? Then they went up for auction. And of course, then they were notorious because they were the ones that were stolen and they were found and they were all cleaned up. Did you ever hear what the number was when those shoes went up for auction?
How much?
$28 million. Ooh, that's a good reaction.
Red ruby
Oh, my word.
slippers?
Yes. So $100,000 for the witch's hat might be a pretty good investment.
$28 million.
Can you believe it? Yeah.
Wow.
No.
Oh my. What if the dogs got a hold of those?
Oh my gosh.
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
right? Oh my gosh. Well, the guy who stole them handed them off to somebody else, and that guy buried them in his garden. I think they were in a little bag or something.
Yeah.
But they sat in this garden up in the Twin Cities area
He
for
put
years.
them in like a bag, like a grocery bag from like
Well,
Fry's.
some kind of a
and,
bag.
Like, just
I'm
left-
surprised no one dug
Don't
it
you throw
up.
Fry's under the bus on this story.
I love
It was
Fry's.
not a Fry's bag.
Well, they're
okay?
hardy. They're thick. So maybe he thought that was the
That
right
is
bag.
crazy.
Isn't
That
that
is an
unbelievable?
insane amount of money.
Yeah. Well, okay, so what are some other items from the Wizard of Oz? So now the red ruby slippers have gone away. They went up for auction and sold. And this hat will probably, if it's opening at $100,000, I'm going to predict it's going to go for almost $1 million.
Yes.
I'm going to say $785 is my prediction.
$785.
By the way, it's in early. Let me see if I can get the date. It's going to be December 9th and 10th from Heritage Auctions, which is a great website to go to.
Wow.
Is there anything else? Think about the Wizard of Oz movie. Is there anything else that you would like to bid on? Because if the price was right, I have at least one that I know that I would like to bid on. But you guys go first. No? Nothing?
I would
Maybe the Dorothy's dress.
Okay.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
I was thinking Glenda. Isn't she the Good Witch?
Yes, she is.
Yeah, I would do Glenda's costume.
Her tiara and her magic wand.
Yeah, Glenda's tiara and wand.
I was going to go with the broomstick of the witch.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Huh?
Magical.
Yeah. How about the oil can that, remember the Tin Man? Oil.
Yeah.
Oil. What if you could get the oil can from him?
Or even the lion suit. Remember when we dressed up as the Wizard of Oz here? I was the lion. And he's like the tail, and he's like cowardly lion.
Oh, he was so great. Bert Lahr, wake me when it's over. Wake me when it's over.
He was so good.
Yeah, no kidding.
Oh, my gosh.
Isn't that amazing that movie now, which is actually approaching, its 90th anniversary in a few more years.
It's still a brilliant film.
Oh, it's so good.
The most amazing, to watch. And I think it's great when they finally get to Oz and they find the wizard and he's just like this guy,
right?
Yeah, sorry if you haven't watched
Spoilers. Spoiler alert.
We have millions of frustrated viewers right now who probably got halfway through the movie and had no idea what happened.
The movie's 100 years old. If you haven't watched it now, you're never going to watch it. So I hope this all helps you to encourage you to watch it. Oh my! But Catherine King says, love the Gilda dress.
Okay, yes, right.
And she says she agrees with me, although Be Kind Forever says the broomstick.
And Be Kind also says, great comments from Be Kind. I think Be Kind's up there in Yarnell, in beautiful little Yarnell.
I love Yarnell.
Says, what about the heart of the Tin Man? Remember he gave him a heart? The one thing you don't have is a heart?
Yeah.
He gave him that sort of...
So sweet.
Anyway.
What a good movie. I kind of want to go back and just veg. Make myself a smoothie and sit in bed.
Without bananas.
Right. Eat the bananas separately, Celeste, if you have one takeaway from today's big show. All right. We will leave you, Ty and Anita, up in 2 minutes on FTT.
Great.
right, happy Tuesday. It's been a long day already.
Tuesdays, I know there are people who say and we talk about this every Tuesday, are the most productive day of the week, but
I hate Tuesdays. It's the worst.
I don't like to use the H word.
I do. Loathe, hate, whatever you got, I'll take it.
I'm not a fan of Tuesdays, but you know what? It's almost over.
That's very true.
It's like halfway over.
It is halfway over. And we have a fun show planned, so that's going to turn your Tuesday around, right?
Yeah, turn that frown upside down.
We have some great guests here this morning. You might have been seeing all the stuff in front of us and being like, what the heck is that?
These are prizes.
They are prizes that can be won if the price is right. So bringing in our new friend here this morning, this is Kristen. You are with Stack. Raise the Stack.
Raise the Stack
You want these little glasses? Would that help?
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
Oh, he
Raise
did just have a birthday.
I know. Maybe this is a sign I got to get some readers.
Did they help?
I think it did.
Welcome to the readers.
You know, I do that every once in a while. I'll grab my husband's readers or if anyone who around me, and I'll be like, let me see. Because that's how I'll determine if I need them. So far, so good.
Okay, good.
So far, I'm okay.
Your LASIK is still holding.
Yeah.
All right. So, Kristen, give us your title and what we're talking about.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us this morning. I'm with the Phoenix Public Library Foundation, and I'm here to chat with you about our Raise the Stacks annual fundraiser.
Can I ask you real quick what the foundation is all about?
Yeah, so the foundation is the fundraising arm that helps to support our Phoenix public libraries. We have 17 libraries across the valley in Phoenix, and the city budget can't sustain all of the programming that our community needs.
Well, because that's what I wanted to ask too. Sorry. Yeah. But when people think about the library, they think of going out and checking out a book. But there is so much more.
Our libraries are so critical to building a vibrant community here in Phoenix. And so we provide everything from heat relief to summer reading programs to college readiness preparedness and being able to check out a book, come for homework help, kind of A to Z for what the community needs.
And I would say 90% of it is free.
All of it is free.
All of it is free. Wow,
Everything
you don't
that we
charge for
offer
anything.
At the library is free of charge.
It's such a remarkable resource. I mean, literally everything's. I have fond memories. I don't know about you, from my childhood going to the library. I was obsessed with the library.
That's what we hear from everyone that we've had a chance to interact with. We've been asking the community to help support us with these amazing auction items for our silent auction. And everyone has a library story.
Yeah.
I grew up going to the bookmobile, and so we'll have our bookmobile there on site at Raise the Stacks. We have a phenomenal bookmobile, 17 libraries. Everyone has interacted with a librarian who's changed their lives. So we've collected some really great stories over the last
You just kind of unlocked a memory about the bookmobile. I forgot about the bookmobile.
I know.
We didn't really have a library near where I live, but we did have the bookmobile that would come in. And I think now that I'm thinking about it, I think I still have a couple books that need to go back to the bookmobile.
Literally, Ty was going to say the same thing. Is that one of my funniest stories? My aunt and my cousin used to take me with. And I checked out Curious George with the Missing Puzzle Piece.
Uh-oh.
The Man in the Yellow Hat.
Yeah, those are the best books, aren't they?
I still have the book.
We won't tell anybody.
Well, I hope they charged you.
Sometime, it was under my cousin's name.
Well, I'm sure they charged her.
And I think that maybe my aunt didn't realize that my cousin let me take it. And I never told anyone because it was so neat having that plastic-coated library book with the little Dewey Decimal System on the spine.
Card that you had to take out. Well, Anita, you're the reason why we have to raise some extra funds. So we need all of those books.
Let me place a bid.
Yeah, I was going to say. So how does it all work? Is it virtual, or are you guys having a big gala, or how's it all going to be working?
Great question. So there's two components to Raise the Stacks. There's our online silent auction and raffle, which is open now and will run through November 14th, where you can place a bid at home on your couch, in your jammies, browsing some amazing auction items. And we also have a ticketed event that's taking place at the Burton Bar Central Library. Beautiful,
gorgeous.
It's all up on the 5th floor reading room. And as you know, the library was designed by world-renowned architect Will Bruder. Beautiful space, but it's a little bit different. It's a very casual fundraiser. We've got a hosted bar, some appetizers, live music. Some of our auction items will be out for display. We're celebrating our 500th class of kindergarten boot camp that we're graduating.
Oh my gosh, how cute.
Which is one of the library's signature programs. It helps prepare our little ones and their caregivers to be ready for kindergarten, so they start confident and prepared. And so we've graduated 6,000 8,000 little kids through that program.
That's amazing. Take us through some of the items.
Yeah, so we have our signature book and bottle pull curated by our Raise the Stacks committee and our board. So you have the opportunity to bid on a book and a bottle. Some are mysteries, some you can bid for.
Are both the bottle and the book are mysteries?
The book come together, yeah.
Oh, but is the bottle a mystery, for example? You don't know what you're bidding on.
I should probably say a surprise.
You don't know what you're bidding on.
Exactly.
Oh, that's kind of fun.
A little bit of a fun pull. We've got beautiful jewelry on display.
Do you want to hold that up?
Anita already had her eyes on this.
Oh, they're
right
gorgeous.
away.
Yeah, sure. I don't know if people can see them.
Oops, that's it. Hold on.
These are gorgeous snake huggies from Metal Mark Fine Jewelers here in Phoenix. They're diamond with little ruby eyes.
They're like little snakes.
They are.
Yeah, I like
little serpents. And we've got things, auction items for people of all ages.
Watch those because we already know that she's got sticky fingers.
I saw that. I've got my eye on you. I've got my readers on, so I'm good to go. We have something for even the little kids, the little ones and furry friends. We've got this amazing hedgehog stuffy paired with a book. All of our children's books were paired by our Phoenix City children's librarian.
Oh, fun.
And then we've got amazing artwork from some local artists here.
Cool
this is Surf Cowboy. And these are 2 cowboy prints inspired by the Old West, but with a bit of a new age feel.
Yeah.
Can we talk about reading and the kids? And you mentioned the pre-K, boot camp. It's so absolutely important. I mean, you have to know how to read.
It's critical. So the kindergarten boot camp is helping to prepare these young ones to start kindergarten confident, prepared. We also help prepare their caregivers, so their parents and the folks who are getting them ready for school, so that they also know what to expect.
Sure.
Our teachers love this program because these kiddos show up ready to go, confident, knowing what to expect. And as you know, being able to read at those appropriate grade levels is critical to lifelong learning, success metrics. And so this program is one of my favorite that I've had a chance to learn about.
I bet.
The education, but also the joy of reading. That Ty and I swap books and talk about books, and our avid.
We start our own little book club.
Avid reader, like very avid readers. Yeah. But again, that goes all the way back. I mean, I wouldn't get in trouble for talking on the phone all night. I would get in trouble because I would stay up all night reading. Yeah. The babysitters clubs and Sweet Valley and
Nancy Drew.
Yes, right. And
I'm dating myself.
Well, I read the Hardy Boys.
Well, but the thing is, I don't know that a book can be dated. I mean, I have a niece who's still reading all the same books.
They're timeless. They're timeless. Yeah. And so that love of reading, the confidence to feel like you can show up ready to go on that first day of school is just so important.
Huge, yeah.
And so our libraries are a critical community center, a community resource.
Yeah. You have done this in the past, correct? These types of, do you have a fundraising goal in mind that you would mind sharing with us?
Yeah, we're hoping to raise upwards of $170,000 this year. Wow. It's a big number, but again, we have a lot of programs that the library supports, community-wide for all ages. Okay. And so this is helping to bridge that gap between what our city budget can afford to support and what our community actually needs.
Yeah.
Can we talk a little bit about the adult programs then? Because we have a lot of the adults who are watching at home. And so obviously we know why, the importance of the education for the kids, but let's talk about the adults. I mean, you mentioned like job skills, you mentioned resume writing skills. You still have to write a resume. Yes. I mean, but just enjoyment itself, reading.
Yeah. And again, I think our libraries are critical spots for resources. So if you, again, have to write a resume, our team can help you there. If you're looking to get connected to city services, the library is a great place to seek that resource out. We have for students who are looking to start college, College Depot is an amazing resource.
What's that?
Helps you identify which colleges you might want to apply to, helps with financial aid, helps with that application process. It's a really scary thing to think about furthering your education. And so to have College Depot hold your hand, support you, be a cheerleader for you as you're going through that process is really invaluable.
How did you get involved in the fundraiser side of all of this with the library?
I am like you both. I am a lifelong avid reader, and I started using the library's services just to check out books, and had a chance to be introduced to the Phoenix Public Library Foundation, and just fell in love with their mission and the committee. And so I have event planning and fundraising in my background. background. I spent about a decade here in the Valley doing that kind of work with other nonprofits.
Nice.
And so I was really blessed to be invited to join the Raise the Stacks Planning Committee,
Well,
which
they're
is
lucky
all
to have
volunteer.
you. Yeah.
Do you
you've got a
still
lot of
go to the
experience.
library and physically check out books?
I do every Saturday, and I also have some overdue books, which is probably, I shouldn't admit that online. Every
That's
Saturday.
why you need a fundraiser. I'm just kidding.
Every Saturday I go. I reserve my books. I pick them up. I check out my Century is my branch, and I love it. It's my Saturday ritual.
All right, what are you reading? I was going to ask you, what are some of your favorite books?
Yeah, right now I'm reading Pierce Oysters, which is a really great story about how the hurricane season impacts oyster farmers.
Yeah.
Fiction, great read.
Yeah.
Check that out at Century Library. And my list is too long to even remember. I have to write it down.
What I was going to say is, in addition to going in, which I love because I like the actual, like having a copy, but you can also use different apps and just download right onto different, like a Kindle.
Yeah, you've got your Libby app, which is the free library app. You can also reserve your books in advance and go pick them up. There's lockers both inside and outside of the library. It's really there's a way to get those books to you in any way. We talked about our bookmobile.
Yeah.
Bringing them right to you.
Those are awesome.
They are
A comment from Jared of Sonora. He says, you can even borrow internet hotspots and telescopes from the library.
Yes. Yeah.
Is that true?
Yes. I'm looking to Kelly to give me a nod. It is true.
It is true.
Thumbs
Good
up.
question, Jared.
Wow.
We
That's
also
cool.
have, I'll plug our community maker space. We have a space inside the library where you can come and learn hands-on STEAM activities. You can use a 3D printer, for example.
That is cool.
Yeah.
Linda also she says, such amazing items. Thank you, Kristen, for all you do. I'm a retired
Linda.
kindergarten teacher, and your boot camps sound amazing that they
I'm going to
offer.
have to come in and do a piece. I do a community care segment, and I'm going to have to come in and do a little something on the boot camp.
That
sounds
an amazing
really cute.
program.
Yeah.
If you want your heart to explode with joy, that's the program to do. And to have 500 classes, 6,000 kiddos go through that program. Mayor Kate Gallego will be on site on the 14th at our event celebrating this amazing milestone. And we're just so pleased to be able to kind of give back to the community in that way.
Also free is getting a library card.
Absolutely. Free library card unlocks a ton of resources.
Sure does.
That's exciting. I love the
We've got
library.
about a minute left, but give us kind of the nitty gritty one more time, the time of the event and how people can get all the information if they want to maybe just go online and do some of the online bidding.
Excellent. So online bidding is open now. You can do that at www.raisethestacks.org. And our event is Friday, November 14th at 5:30. We do have some tickets still available if you want to join us at Burton Bar Central Library. It's going to be hosted bar, creative appetizers provided by Conceptually Social. They're the brainchild behind Alden at the Art Museum, the new restaurant that's recently opened there. We'll have live music and some items to go.
Awesome.
Perfect. Well, Kristen, thank you so much for coming in. It was nice to meet you.
Thank you
Thank you.
Make sure you get those earrings back, Anita. Did you? I got to check your
gonna-
pocket.
I'm wearing them.
I got to check her pockets
I'm
right
already
now.
wearing them. We'll put all the info on our website. another really
Yeah, I told you. We've got a jam-packed show for you on a Tuesday. So I want to introduce our new friend, Kelly Brush. Kelly Brush started the Kelly Brush Foundation. For people that don't know, Kelly, give us a kind of a little bit of background about what the Kelly Brush Foundation is all about.
Yeah, so I started the Kelly Brush Foundation because I had a spinal cord injury. I was a big athlete before I got hurt. And learning about adaptive sports and getting into adaptive sports really brought me back to myself. It made me feel like myself again. It made me realize that I didn't have to be a different person because of my disability. And I also saw that there were so many barriers to getting into adaptive sports. And I wanted that not to be the case. So I wanted to make sure that everybody with a spinal cord injury was able to participate in anything that they wanted to. It's so impactful for who they are, but also for their family, for their community.
Yeah.
And so we started the Kelly Brush Foundation to bring that to life.
I love that.
So you skied, lacrosse, soccer, basketball, softball.
What don't you do,
swimming,
Kelly?
Gymnastics. And that was just in your early life, according to your bio.
Yeah.
Do you want to share a little bit more about your injury and what happened? What sport were you participating in?
Yeah, absolutely. So you're right. All of those sports I did, and probably more too. I grew up in Vermont. I was outside all the time, and my parents just threw me into everything, and I loved it. That's sort of what I love to do. And for me, ultimately, skiing and ski racing became my main focus. I was racing nationally and internationally through high school, and then I went to college and I was skiing Division I for college, and I was a sophomore, and it was about halfway through the season. I was halfway down the course and I somehow got spun around backwards. I was going down backwards and my skis sort of hooked up and threw me off the trail, and I hit a lift tower and broke my back.
Oh my gosh.
And you're so young, right?
I was so young. I was 19.
I was going to say 19, 20.
Yeah.
How does a 19-year-old begin to comprehend that her life has changed, and then how do you begin to move forward and help others the way you're helping them?
Yeah, I was really lucky because I had a huge community around me that really supported me. So I was part of lots of small communities. The ski racing community is really small and tight-knit. I'm from Vermont. The college that I went to was a very, supportive environment for me. So I just had tons of people who came out of the woodwork and said, we'll do anything to help you. And so I said, okay, I've got to harness this energy and make something good come out of my accident. And it really was, adaptive sports that changed my whole mindset. And I knew that could be the case for other people too. So it was a really sort of easy and natural thing for us to get into and say, how can we make this path a little bit easier for others?
I've interviewed some other individuals that were in kind of the same situation. They had an accident and they said how isolating it can be, because you really think that your life's over. I can't do the things that I used to do anymore. But I feel like what you have proven and what you are helping others see is that there's a whole other side to this new life, so to speak.
Maybe even bigger and better.
Maybe even bigger and better.
It's so interesting. The number of people I've talked to just recently about how, well, we would never wish this on somebody. After this happens, your life takes on so much more purpose. And you're absolutely right. I think one of the biggest things that we try to create with the Kelly Brush Foundation is community, because it is so isolating. And all of a sudden you're in this situation, you're a lot more nervous to go do the basic things like go to the grocery store. Can I do that?
It's different.
What happens if I can't get the things I need to? Yes. And things are just different. So it can become really isolating, and that can happen to a lot of people. What we find in the way that we do this through the Kelly Brush Foundation is that sports and recreation is a really nice sort of entry into expanding what you think you're capable of.
Yeah.
And it's a really sort of like, okay, I'll go try biking or I'll go try basketball. Maybe that'll be fun. But what we find is that by doing that, and then especially when we get a group of people together doing it, that you start to learn so much more about other things. How do you use, what's that part of your wheelchair? Exactly. How do you do this in your life? What's the kind of things that you use for that? And you start to build these connections and build this community, and it's really, really powerful.
I think that most people associate sports with community. They associate sports with camaraderie. And so as soon as you walk into whatever you're doing, whether you're running a race or whether you're going to go play volleyball, there's that sense of I'm here with you.
Yeah.
And so you don't immediately, you're not feeling alone before you even start talking to anyone.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And then you see also what other people are doing too, right? And you're like, oh, no, I can't do that. And then you watch your peer go do it and you're like, oh,
well, they can
maybe
do
I
it.
can do
I should try, And so you really get that support. And then you have the person like, okay, well, here's what I did. Maybe try this.
Yeah.
And it really does. It's that really nice organic building of support and of community.
So how old were you? When did you decide to establish a foundation? Because you're young, and that's not an easy thing to do either.
Yeah. It was actually right after I got hurt.
Really?
So it was in the first couple of months after my accident. I remember I was still in rehab, and we came up with the idea of the Kelly Brush Foundation. I am coming upon the 20th anniversary of my accident. So we're celebrating 20 years this year of the Kelly Brush Foundation. And it's just wild to see both what we've been able to do, but just being really excited for the future and thinking about the next 20 years and, where we see adaptive sports and the disability community and how we can support that.
Well, congratulations. That's huge. 20
Thank you.
years. You're working right now with Ability 360, and folks here in the Valley might know that name.
Yes.
Talk about that kind of collaboration that you guys have made now.
Yeah, so this is incredible. We work all across the country. I live in Vermont. We're based in Vermont, but our work is all across the country. And we like to partner with local programs to build local communities. Ability 360 is such an incredible organization. They have an amazing facility. And this is an area where lots of people with disabilities come because there are so many resources here. So we knew that it was great and we really wanted to come here. We have 9 participants who are here. About half of them are from the Phoenix area. The other half are all across the country from Maine and North Carolina and Michigan. And we brought them all together here and they're learning about wheelchair sports. So this is things like tennis and pickleball and basketball.
And these are people that may have
rugby.
never tried this before.
So most of these folks haven't tried adaptive sports or they've dabbled just a little bit. And so this is all new to them. And it's been really, really fun to see them learning about it, experiencing it, and watching their confidence grow in what they can do.
That's what my next question. I was going to ask you, what is it like for you to kind of see these individuals get introduced to this and get that kind of like aha moment, like, hey, I can do this.
Yeah. It's amazing. I mean, I love that. That's my whole purpose and why I love doing this. And to watch them progress. And I participate with them. So that's one of the things that's really fun for me. That for me, yesterday we did softball. I played softball as a kid, but I haven't done it since I got hurt, 20 years later.
Wow.
So for me,
how'd you do?
I was going to say, I bet you're saying like,
are you a little sore today?
I'm like stretched a little more. I should have stretched a little more.
I'm very competitive. So I got really into it. And then I was like, I got to make sure everybody else is touching the ball too. But no, it's great. It's really, really fun to participate with them and learn with them. And I think in a lot of ways for them too, that's fun for them to see that, like, sure, there's some sports that I do a lot and I can then help people and show them what I do. But it's almost like in some ways even more fun when I'm learning with them.
So this camp, how long does it last? Is it a one-time thing? Will there be more opportunities here in the Phoenix area?
Yes. So this camp is 3 days. So we have people in for 3 days. We're hoping to do this every year. So this is our first time here with Ability 360, but we're definitely coming back. So we're excited to do that again in the future. They've been such an incredible partner to us.
Now, do you work with other organizations around the country then as well?
Yeah. So we do that. We have camps all over the country.
Wow.
We go to Utah, we go to Oregon, we do things in Vermont. So we're all over, and it's great to be able to diversify the different folks that we're helping that use different sports, and make sure that we're reaching people in every stage of life, no matter where they are, where they live, all sorts of things. So we want to make sure that we're connecting with lots of people.
Now, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say you have the camps, but you also have an active fund and you have scholarships in addition to teaching
do it all.
Ski racing safety. What are these scholarships and funds all about?
Yeah. So the active fund is actually our biggest program. So these are grants that we give to help people purchase adaptive sports equipment.
Which is expensive.
It's incredibly expensive. Our camps bring people together to help teach people about adaptive sports, build this community. But so often they'll come to a camp and they'll go home and say, say, like, I want to play tennis.
Yeah.
How can I do that? So they can apply to us, and we give grants to help them purchase that equipment. We've given almost $7 million in grants over the years. So it's pretty incredible.
Wow.
And then our scholarships are exactly sort of what they sound like. So this is for somebody who's like, I really want to go try whatever it is, right? Basketball or biking or skiing. But I need to go to a program. Oftentimes that costs money. Sometimes people have to travel because it's not something that's right there. We can help to cover either travel costs or program fees so that they can try the different sports, get into it, and start them on that.
What would you say is kind of like the best beginner sport for someone that may be like, hey, I would love to try my hand at this? What do you think is kind of like the good first step?
I think a really good entry sport is hand cycling or biking.
Oh, yeah.
It's very easy to learn. There's 3 wheels. There's no balance involved. There's gears, so you need to like shift, but that's about it. And you can just go around your neighborhood, right? This is so often we hear like parents who just want to go bike with their kids.
Yeah.
Their kids are out riding. I want to go bike. It's a really great way to get cardio, which is really hard when you're in a wheelchair. You can't go for a run really easily and that sort of stuff. So getting in a hand cycle is a really great first
there's
step.
more. You're a pediatric nurse practitioner.
I am.
You're a mom.
Look at she's got the.
I know. You're a mom of, is it 2?
2 girls.
Look at you.
Yeah. Yeah, my life is very full.
It gives
busy.
It gives me chills because I just love to see, like you said, you took what happened, your accident, and you just turned it around. And sometimes it's just so hard to turn stuff around.
Yeah. Well, and that was just it. I didn't want to have this change what I wanted to do in my life. I was a sophomore in college, and my first goal was I want to be back and be a regular college student again. And I knew I wanted to have a career, and I knew I wanted to be a mom and have a family. And you know, it didn't need to change because I have a disability. And, you know, that's how I live my life. And that's the example that I want to show to others. And that's what we want to help people achieve also.
That's such an inspiring message, too. Yeah. I wish we could talk to you for another 25 minutes. We've got so many questions.
When are you back in Phoenix, do you know?
Hopefully soon. Definitely next year, but I don't know if before then.
Okay, cool.
But I would love to be. It's great here.
Well, yeah, well, keep us posted, will you, next time you're back?
Absolutely.
We'll have to come out and maybe see you in action with the rest of your group or whatever, because we'd love to continue to follow your story.
Give us your website, how people can donate, volunteer, help out, get more information.
Yes, it's kellybrushfoundation.org.
KELLY.
Yep. And then brush like a hairbrush, BRUSH. .org.
Okay.
Yep. So you can find all the information about what we do. You can donate on there. You can see if there's events going on in your area and come out and join us.
You're amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. We really love your story. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Des and Ron will be back after a 2-minute break, you guys.
All right. See you tomorrow.
All right, everybody. Welcome to more of Fox 10 Talks with Ron and Desiree, and you're looking at the solemn ceremony that was held this morning at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. This is the way our nation traditionally, with the Commander-in-Chief, marks the annual Day of Remembrance for all veterans who have served and who have served in ancient times, 100 years ago, 200 years ago, throughout our nation's history, but who have also served us in more recent times. So the president was there, as you could see, and right along with him, the Veteran Affairs Secretary, Doug Collins, and Vice President J.D. Vance. So then, if you've ever been to Arlington, it is, Des, one of those places that I think when you leave Arlington, you leave changed, because nowhere else can you more dramatically see the impact of what has been happening in our nation as we fight wars here in the U.S. or around the world in an effort to try to defend freedom.
Oh, I can only imagine what it's like to not only be there on, this day to watch the ceremony, but just in general, like you mentioned, just to soak all of that in. Our past, our present, the future, it kind of represents it all.
Right.
So it's wonderful to see that they continue this tradition and keep honoring those that have served our country, because it's a huge sacrifice, not on just their part, but their families and generations, even, after those who have served.
Let's take you inside the amphitheater shortly after this happened. Here's a little more of what was being said at the ceremony, including the president.
First, to our nation's veterans, thank you. Thank you for serving and sacrificing. We've all got so many good stories of people that we served with over the years. During my 4 years of the Marine Corps, I met the very best of America, people who are willing to put on a uniform and risk their lives for their entire country. Just yesterday morning, I met people who lost limbs, who lost very, very important family members, who lost their psychological health, going out there and serving the United States of America. So whether you gave a little bit or whether you gave a lot, every single person who put on the uniform of this nation deserves our gratitude on this day especially, but every day. And so from the Vice President and the entire administration to our nation's veterans, thank you for your service, thank you for your sacrifice, and thank you for making us proud every single day.
And from the very beginning of our country, our great American flag has always been shielded and protected by a special cast of citizens who has stepped forward to safeguard liberty's cause. When danger came, when duty called, when Almighty God asked, who had the will and the strength to defend the land of the free, each and every American veteran stood up and said, "Here I am, send me, here I am." They've come from every corner of this nation, from the cornfields of Iowa to the hills and valleys of California, from the steel towns of Pennsylvania to the vast plains of Texas, from the banks of the mighty Mississippi to the 5 boroughs of New York City. With selfless commitment and unyielding conviction, they made themselves America's ramparts and became the shield between our homeland and those who would do us harm. With everything they had, they did one thing above all else. They put America first. On the decks of destroyers, beneath the thunder of cannon fire in the cockpits of our beautiful B-2 bombers. Aren't they beautiful? Now we respect them so much. What a job they did. That in an instant completely obliterated Iran's nuclear capability, of which we have just ordered, I have to say, many more of the updated versions of that incredible piece of art. They defended the American Republic, dispensed American justice, crushed the enemies of freedom, and vanquished the forces of wickedness and evil. And that's what we've been doing. Because of what every veteran has done today, the flame of liberty shines bright. The people of our nation sleep safe. The American dream surges forward, and our magnificent destiny stands more splendid and glorious than ever before. So I want to say thank you once again to every American veteran. You are very, very special people and always in our heart. And thank you very much, and God bless you, and God bless the United States of America. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody.
Okay,
thank you very
a
much.
chance for you there to hear the president as he spoke, the vice president as well. Now, of course, what's happening in Washington right across the river has everyone's attention because we continue to feel the kind of the mid or after effects of the government shutdown. This is a live look right there at the St. Louis airport. Obviously, they must be a pretty good size hub for Southwest. You see a bunch of Southwest planes sitting right there. Don't see a lot of planes taking off or landing, but there's the end is in sight. But the after effects of the shutdown, it sounds like, are going to be pretty significant. So, Des, we asked Henrietta Trays to join us. She's an expert on the kind of on the tourism industry based out of New Orleans. And Henrietta, thanks for joining us today. Would you say the situation is actually going to get worse before it gets better?
Thank you both so much for having me. We are at the tail end of a very long, record-breaking government shutdown. So I would say for folks who are headed out on the road to the airports right now that there is about 5 days more of pain. The FAA and the TSA folks that we all know from waiting on the lines at the airplanes at the airports are right now being asked to work without pay. And by tomorrow night, the House of Representatives will vote to give them their pay, give them back pay, get folks back into the airports and doing their jobs with pay. And we should be in the clear by around this time next week. But it will take just a couple more days to get this bill to the president for his signature and end this shutdown.
And I think when we look at travel as a whole, when that really started to become impacted by the government shutdown, obviously that changed a lot there in Washington. But as far as it relates to travel, what is the most significant and immediate negative impact that this shutdown has had on the tourism industry as a whole?
It was almost like a last wound that they really just couldn't suffer. And I'm sure, as you guys have so many amazing tourist locations down in Arizona, we do here in Louisiana, especially New Orleans, the U.S. consumer has really been squeezed all year. As you know, the president's tariffs went into effect earlier this year, and they cost about $2,600 per household. So folks have been cutting back, especially the bottom half of the country. Anybody making less than $250,000 a year has been really squeezed by the tariffs, and as a result has not been traveling. Compounding that is the retaliation from other countries. So Canada, which usually has a lot of tourism that comes to the United States, is down 25 to 39%, depending on what part of the country you're looking at, whether it's Montana, Wyoming, Maine, or down south where they're looking for a little bit of sunshine. So this is just pouring, salt on the wound with this government shutdown. So at least this overhang will be cleared up in a little bit, but the tariffs are still here with us, and that's unfortunately a real problem.
One of the twists to all of this that I hadn't even considered until just looking into it over the last couple of days, when the airlines have to cancel flights, the very last flights they are likely to cancel are international flights. I guess that's because they don't want to lose their slots overseas or something like that. You can explain it to us. But is that then almost funneling more people into traveling, if they've got the money to do so, overseas and cutting back more with travel here within the United States?
Yes, that's exactly right. And I'm sure if you know anybody who's traveled in the last month, they would say they had these really long lines and they were just trying to get to, Texas or to Florida or something. That's because the domestic flights where you have to, say, change planes in Atlanta, some sort of little puddle jump or a hop across, they will cancel those flights because it's maybe, 50, 75 passengers. On an international flight, you're talking about 500 passengers. And so they'll keep those flights running. The airlines make those choices based off of, what it means for their margins, what it means for their staff, how much, squeeze they get from that lemon. And they have maintained and continued the international flights. But the domestic flights, the domestic tourism from all of us going to visit each other is really what's been hurt the most.
Mm-hmm. And you mentioned Arizona, we're a great place to visit. That we are for sure. And, we have one of the greatest national parks, the Grand Canyon. And obviously that was also forced to close during this government shutdown. So when we look at national park closures, how have they been impacted during the shutdown and how do they recover?
The national park closures are one of those examples where they've also had compounding effects from the entire year. There's been layoffs from DOJ, there's been federal cutbacks and reductions in spending across the country. And for places like the Grand Canyon, which are just so extraordinary to go visit, you want to go, but you're having to face the fact that, your grocery prices are higher, the tariffs are on, you need a new refrigerator, you got to pay for that. And so you have to make these choices. So the national parks have also been suffering as a result. And it's really the international travel, I think, that is compounding that as well, because it's not just Americans who want to go enjoy the national parks and the Grand Canyon, but folks over in France and Europe and Asia. And those retaliations in sort of a personal pocketbook decision-making process has caused reductions in travel from those folks internationally to come here and go visit those parks. So it's really a compounding of events.
I want to see if I can we only got 40 seconds left. Let me squeeze this in real quick. What about the after effects? I've heard that as many as 20 air traffic controllers per day are retiring. Are there going to be lingering effects even after the government reopens?
Yes, and that's a really good point. So the administration has also offered retirement payouts to get people off of the federal payrolls, to get to reduce the size of government. And that's going to have these knock-on effects when people decide that they don't want to stay in the federal government anymore. They want to retire. It's also, changing demographics. We really need to offer those folks more money to stay on. It's in everybody's best interest. It creates a lot of economic opportunity to have those flights rolling, to have those parks open. That's how we make money here in America, is economic stimulus, and that's really what it is.
All right, well, Henrietta knows her stuff, Des, for sure.
Appreciate you. Thanks for joining us
Henrietta,
today.
We'll have to call on you again, maybe in better times.
From Louisiana, you said, right?
Thanks for having me.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thanks.
Hey, break time already. Yeah, she's in New Orleans. That would be a fun town to go visit.
Absolutely.
Okay.
That's a wonderful place to go.
I wonder where this is. It's our mystery cam. Give us your guesses. We'll be right back. Okay, everybody. I'm just looking around. I see Lil Philosophy with a Georgia. Des, I see Brandon with an Oklahoma. I could see that being Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I really could.
Georgia's a good guess, too.
Okay, should we go with, I'll go Oklahoma. You want to go Georgia?
Jen Walls is coming in with Arkansas.
Okay.
Okay.
What are you going to do?
I think I like Georgia.
Okay.
Where are you going?
I'm going Oklahoma.
Okay.
All right, everybody. Here she is. No, hold on. That's way too much. Ready? Here we go.
It's Blanchard, Oklahoma. So you guys were right. Was that B. Miguel? Yeah.
Yeah, that was Brandon.
Nice job.
Good job, Brandon,
Good
for
guess.
sure. There's one last look at it. Right? What's the name of the town again?
Is it Blanchard?
Blanchard.
Am I saying that right?
Yeah, there you go.
Blanchard.
Okay. So on to, we just thought we'd update you on our poll question today. What with, all of the ups and downs out of Washington, now a number of Democrats are calling for Chuck Schumer to step down. He can't, I guess he could resign his Senate seat. They just want him to quit leading the Democrats up on Capitol Hill and choose somebody else to be their leader. 81% of you say he ought to. He's one of the biggest problems Democrats have. 2% say, yeah, I hope he does because it's time for new leaders in the party. Hope AOC runs against him. Would that be epic in a primary battle next year? Schumer versus AOC?
Man.
Come on. I want to cover that one. Fly me out to New York.
Yeah, she's very animated.
Yeah.
I mean, she might give him a run for his money.
Yeah, 17% say no. It seems like he's doing the best he can in a very partisan time. That's the QR code. We'll pop up oh my goodness, we're up to almost 2,000 votes that fast on YouTube. Des, how's it look?
Well, the first still has the majority here with 68%. Yes, he's one of the biggest problems Democrats have. 18% think it's time for a new leader, and 14% believe he's doing just fine.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, so amongst other stories that we are interested in covering for you, we have, Des, this story about it's a baby formula recall. And, you're raising youngsters. We all, we've got a little 1-year-old grandchild in our family. Mm-hmm. This is really concerning because the recalled formula has been found in Arizona. Is for By Heart baby formula after some babies were sickened and apparently contracted botulism.
Mm-hmm. Which is scary. I even had to, look that up. It's a bacteria that causes concern here. Mm-hmm. And the idea is that the formula by Heart had a strain of this bacteria. And the scary thing is in different lots of the formula as well. So parents and caregivers were feeding their babies out of, different lots, and they were still getting very, very sick. So they have pulled all of the By Heart formula. There's a recall out now for all of it. Yeah.
Okay, let's see. This is our reporting from Fox10Phoenix.com. Camelback Pediatrics saying they're overwhelmed with calls from worried parents, and quoting a pediatrician saying the bacterium likes to travel to their large intestines. That's where it multiplies and releases the toxin, and because they're little, they're more prone to that. Their little immune systems are doing the best they can. But it's just really worrying. So I would recommend that people go to Fox10Phoenix.com and read more on this story. But any parent of an infant needs to make sure what do they have in their kitchen.
They say, monitor your children very closely. If they've had this formula, you should obviously know. But it is kind of like a upper tier brand, I would say. So I think parents think they're buying, a good quality product.
Is it pretty well known?
Happens. I believe so. Yeah. Okay. I mean, it's on the shelves at Target, and it's a kind of maybe like a second tier type formula.
Sure.
I nursed all my babies, so I don't know, too much about them. But as far as the botulism, it's caused by a nerve toxin from this bacteria, and it leads to muscle paralysis. So I guess watch for any signs, in your baby. Yeah. You definitely want to be monitoring them closely, but don't wait. If you think something is off, take them in.
Okay. Excellent reporting. If you want to go to Fox10Phoenix.com And you can read the story about Arizona families affected by the nationwide baby formula recall. Since it's Veterans Day, Des, I thought I would tell a little bit of the story.
Yeah.
Settle in for story time here.
Okay. Anyone got a blanket?
Of Veterans Day. Now, it starts with the days leading, believe it or not, up to World War I. So you had the Archduke Franz Ferdinand, he and his wife, Sophie, riding in a car in Sarajevo. There was a lot of anti-monarchy feelings in Serbia and in Sarajevo back in those times. Anyway, their driver took a wrong turn and literally just happened to drive right into the street where the assassin was waiting, and he was armed. And so he shot the Archduke, and then in cold blood, he murdered his the wife as well. And so they had no chance to escape. They were stuck there on the street. The outrage, Austria and Hungary, they obviously are outraged about it. They got Germany to put their army on a war footing. And soon war was declared on Serbia. Then Russia came in to Serbia's aid. Germany invaded Belgium. At that point, Britain also came in to the war. So, meanwhile, the President of the United States, I've got some pictures that go way, way, way back. Let me see if I can call these up here. There are some of the pictures right there. Check this out. Check this picture right here. That is Woodrow Wilson saying that the United States was cutting off all relations with Germany in 1917. Now, in 1916, he wanted to win re-election. And so he said, I'll keep us out of the war. Mm-hmm. Well, the election ended, and guess what? By February of 1917, like 3 months later, it's like, we might be headed to war after all. And it was a good thing that the U.S. came in. I mean, we had loss of life, but that war could have drug on for years. He makes that call, and soon enough, we are, in fact, at war. And so you saw this picture. Those are American troops with hand grenades throwing them across no man's land where Austrian troops had dug the trenches. This, however, is the picture of much happier American forces. Within about a year and a half of us entering the war, it came to an end. And on this day, in the year 1918, at 11 o'clock in the morning, on the 11th day of the 11th month, they signed the armistice that ended the war to end all wars. So that's how we ended up with Armistice Day.
Look at them. They all look so young.
They are so young, right? And so the thing about it that was interesting was that Woodrow Wilson, soon after that, said, okay, we are going to have a day. It's not a one-time celebration of the end of war. The 11th of November every year will be the future date that we remember those who fought in World War I. Well, eventually World War II came. And then Korea, which my dad fought in that war. And eventually they said, we're going to make this to honor every veteran who has served. And so that's why we have Veterans Day today. It at one point was called Armistice Day. Interestingly, it's still called Armistice Day to this day over in the UK.
Really?
Yeah.
Why did they decide to keep it Armistice Day? Why did we change, or vice versa? Why didn't they decide to call it Veterans Day with us?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess there just never was a move to actually change it. But there's Princess Kate and the royal family posting these pictures as part of the ceremony today, and she attended with, there were some military veterans even that stretch back to World War II. And I just thought, again, this is from the royal family. And one more here, she left a note card. It's a little bit difficult to read, but you can see she signed it, Catherine, saying, the memory of those who fought will never be forgotten by any of us. So it's a day to remember on both sides of the ocean.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Beautiful images there out of the UK.
Yeah. Okay. So anyhow, we hope that you are having a day where, especially if you've got kids that are young enough or old enough, I guess, to learn, tell them a little bit about Veterans Day, because it's a story worth
Play
sharing.
The stream back, you guys.
Yeah,
tonight.
Scrub back three minutes,
dinner
and
time?
you can give them the whole 411. Let's talk Michael Jackson, because there's a biopic. I was not even up to speed on the fact that this biopic is coming out, but I guess there's a lot of people, Des, who are really interested in it. I think we actually have part of the trailer that got released. Apparently, it has been viewed so many millions of times. They're thinking this biopic is going to be huge.
Yeah, it's already breaking records, and the biopic isn't even out yet.
Yeah.
So it's the upcoming biopic titled Michael, very fitting, right? But this teaser, so it's just the teaser right now, and already has a record 116 million views, beating other previous records held by Taylor Swift and Bob Marley films. I mean, those are two other really powerhouse names.
Right.
This is just catching everybody's attention, and it got that many views within the first 24 hours. So I think there's a lot of anticipation over the biopic. It's coming out in April.
You know, I was thinking about Michael Jackson on Halloween night because
we were playing a lot of Michael Jackson.
Yes,
around Halloween.
and in one neighborhood that I was walking through, somebody had their speakers set up, and it was just playing Thriller over and over again. And despite the troubled life that he lived, there's no arguing that he was one of the most talented musicians of our lifetimes.
And I feel like more recently, like artists that we've seen had things come out in their personal life.
Yeah, there's been a lot of that.
People have seemed like to have written them off, but there's something about Michael, it seems, and his work.
Do you think it was the quality of the music?
I think so. I mean, you know, I don't agree with everything that happened with him personally,
of course,
but
right.
I don't know. Is it just that the music stands the test of time? It's just too, you know, just so out of that realm when he was, you know, making all of his hits that it just stands the, you know, the test. But
by the way, it's going to premiere in theaters. At first, I thought maybe it was going to be streaming.
No,
April 24th, 2026.
Yep.
So we've still got a ways. No, that's true.
Like,
5 months.
Time goes
4 or
fast.
5 months.
Yeah, right.
Time will go fast.
Time goes fast.
You
Look
sound
at this.
like-
We're like Thanksgiving in less than 2 weeks.
You sound like me waiting for the next
Like, oh,
football
goodness.
season, Des.
Yeah, right.
Oh, it'll go
You're like,
fast.
oh, hurry up. And his nephew is playing him.
Oh, yeah.
So that was Jafar Jackson.
Jafar Jackson.
So really cool. That it, you know,
all right.
someone in his family.
It's going to be a big hit. You can predict that for sure. We already have to say our goodbyes. I guess we can do so with this shot out of Oklahoma. Huh?
Yeah, love it. Blanchard.
Thanks, everybody, for watching. We'll see you tomorrow on FTT.